Hey friends, it's me, Chutney Whye, licensed acupuncturist, reluctant fire code enforcer, and unofficial therapist to a woman who packed a 12-fork fondue set in her earthquake kit. Welcome back to I Love a Hoarder. Now, you know Ding Ding, my hoarding honey from Hong Kong, with the emotional range of a telenovela and the storage needs of a public library. Well, she was stomping around the house because I'd thrown out some empty nitrogen cartridges she'd planned to turn into a necklace someday. So when the phone rang, and it was my dear friend Monsieur Moyen, concierge at a certain legendary Beverly Hills hotel, asking if I could discreetly assess a guest's clutter crisis, you'd better believe I said, "Mais oui." An hour later, I arrive. Monsieur Moyen, small, fastidious man, large mustache, meets me in a red-carpeted lobby that smells like Power and Clive Christian No. 1. Yes, the $240,000 a bottle cologne. Money's got to go somewhere, right? His office sits just off the marble-columned lobby. He closes the door, leans in like he's about to ask me to hide a body.
"My dear Chutney," he says, "what you're about to see is delicate. The guest has vacated the hotel quite suddenly after 3.5 years, and not one of us, quite frankly, is disappointed. The guest, whom I shall call Monsieur X, attracted an assortment of intimidating men who carried guns inside their black suits. And the suite he rented, mon Dieu, the suite, it is overrun. My staff is frightened. There is how you say, goo."
Goo?
Mais oui, goo. And worse, Monsieur X treated my staff horribly. Such abuse. He accused them of touching his things, moving them, and he would rage, stomping around like an angry...
Elephant?
Ah oui, an elephant. Come, you will see. It is horrifying.
We take the service elevator to the suite, half a floor of pure excess. He opens the door reverently, as if stepping into Versailles or a lion's cage. And it's gilded chaos. Antique Louis XIV's screens, Louis XV's desks, gilt chairs stacked like Jenga, old paintings in gold frames stacked against walls, tapestries draped over unopened Valentino boxes, Hermes, Chanel, everything in tissue paper, nothing worn. The dining table, covered in gold-rimmed porcelain, all used, food caked on like modern art, dried sauces, a single ham bone teetering at the edge like it's considering jumping. The bedroom, moldy pastries, open takeout, clothes and jewelry piled high on the bed. And the goo, a slow-moving, unidentified culinary ooze seeping from under the bed, hissing faintly and eating through the floor. But as Monsieur Moyen would say, c'est la vie, c'est la vie. I head home, regroup, and return the next day with a team. Ding Ding, Granny Notaparan, 2 of Ding Ding's cafe waitresses, Cassiopeia and Madge, plus a couple of busboys, all armed with gloves, trash bags, storage bins, and Ding Ding's crystal spray bottle she swears neutralizes emotional trauma. The mission? Sort the sacred from the spoiled, garbage versus priceless, filth versus Fabergé. Monsieur Moyen hands me the door code. As we pile into the elevator, he squeezes my arm.
"Bonne chance, mes amis. Oh, you'll need it."
The suite door swings open. The girls freeze. Cassiopeia crosses herself. Madge, tiny and pale, dry heaves. Granny marches to the back wall, squints at a knob, and says,
"Oh, what's this do?"
She turns it. Turns out the suite has a built-in speaker system, and one station is all French can-can music.
"Oh, that's my music,"
says Granny.
I love to can.
We were ready to work, but now we're mesmerized by the sight of Granny high-kicking her way across the floor among the statuary, waving a painted fan she's just found in a pile. Well, now, I'd like to say, good for her, having a good time, but really her can was a bit of a travesty. For one, it's a dance created for long-legged lassies 50 years younger. Plus, Granny has no sense of rhythm, and she's 5'3" in her orthopedic sneakers. So, yes, she was a sight to behold, but not the way I might have wished, tripping over her own feet and karate kicking her way around the floor. But then all that came to an end when she did a high kick and fell backwards, knocking over a life-size porcelain peasant boy riding an ostrich. Shattered, 1,000 pieces. I rushed to the wall and flipped the switch. Standing in the doorway, Monsieur Moyen, arms folded, peering over horn-rimmed glasses. Oh my gosh, Monsieur Moyen, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to cause this.
Tut. That item was from the court of Louis XIV. Nearly priceless.
Oh boy, there goes every nickel I'll ever earn.
Oh, I wouldn't worry if I were you, Chutney. It was a forgery. Nearly everything in the suite is a forgery. That is why Monsieur X disappeared so suddenly. He ran a massive forgery ring, and the FBI has caught up with him. Only now he has escaped to his country, where there is no extradition agreement with the United States.
Oh, I see. Well, that's a relief, I guess.
Now this peasant boy riding an ostrich, it was part of a set. Have you seen the other one?
Cassiopeia calls from across the room. She's found it, buried under a pile of tapestries. Monsieur Moyen struts over and gives it a hearty shove.
This,
he says,
this is for Monsieur X, abusing my staff. Good riddance. Put-tuh.
Then, deadpan,
Now, Granny, come take my hand. I will show you how to do a proper can. Music, please.
Granny smiles.
It would be a pleasure.
I go hit the switch again. They dance around the floor for a few minutes in perfect unison, nailing every high kick and shaking their imaginary bustles. Then he kisses Granny's hand and slicks his hair into its perfect middle part. Granny says,
Where did you learn to dance like that?
Monsieur Moyen gives her a wink and says,
Oh, I'm just an old Parisian showgirl. Perhaps you've heard of Cinnamon Moyen. I was the toast of the town. Now I'm just toast.
He glides over to a life-size porcelain cougar standing by the doorway.
Ah, from the Medici Palace, 15th century.
He gives it a solid kick.
This is for Monsieur X, abusing Monsieur Cinnamon Moyen. Good riddance. Put-tuh.
We all stare, speechless, but relieved it's a forgery. Still, we're a little unnerved when, as he steps into the elevator, he gives a gold pedestal a sharp kick and sends a Chinese vase exploding into fragments.
And this is for eating asparagus with his fingers. Good riddance. Put-tuh. Of course, nothing we've seen here ever occurred, n'est-ce pas?
Then he's gone. Granny puts down her painted fan and picks up a broom.
All right, my little sugar pies, listen up. We didn't see anything we just saw, got that? We're here to clean up a mess. But this isn't about trash. It's about human failings. Some of it's wrapped in Valentino, and some of it's leaking under the bed. But it's all an opportunity for us, in our own small way, to set the world right. So pull on your gloves, pick up a bag, and let's set these rooms free.
And just like that, the de-hoarding began. Ding Ding threw herself into the task, focused, strangely beautiful in her precision. She cataloged antiques, sorted designer bags, labeled trash with Post-it hearts, like tiny breakup notes. She even MacGyvered a mold containment strategy using candle wax and a dozen pretty authentic-looking Birkin bags. Anyway, she was brilliant, and watching her, I was amazed. Because for someone so blind to her own mountain of stuff, she was awfully good at fixing someone else's, like a surgeon who never gets checkups. So we finished around midnight. The suite still looked extravagantly acquisitive, but breathable. The obliterated forgeries, no one would ever know or care. The rest of it? Well, it'll become evidence, probably. That's why when Monsieur Moyen offered us each a stunning fake emerald necklace as a memento, we said no. On the drive home, I asked Ding Ding, "How can you do that for someone else, but not for yourself?" She shrugged. "I don't know, Chutney. It's easier to clean someone else's mess. Mine feels like me." And that's when it hit me. The line between illness and human failings is pretty thin, sometimes invisible. So if someone you love is hoarding empty nitrogen cartridges or porcelain peasant boys riding ostriches, you can fight, you can cry, or you can glove up, turn on the music, and make a little space to dance. I'm Chutney Whye, and this has been I Love a Hoarder. Please like, subscribe, and throw a 5-star rating our way. I'll see you next week, and until then, for the love of Granny Notaparan, if you find a mysterious knob on the wall, turn it.